Hey everybody, and welcome to another Mozilla DevTools tip brought to you by RabbitWerks JavaScript. So today we're going to look at the HTML inspector, and as you can see I have my JavaScript drum kit project loaded, and if we right click inspect element, and you can see it brings up the default tab, which is in fact the inspector. So right here on our left panel, the markup panel, we're going to have all of our different elements and all of our different markup right here. And there's these little tags you might have noticed. Some of them say event, some of them say flex and grid. And if any of our elements on the page have the display of grid or flex, that little tag will show up right next to it here and indicate that. As well as these event tags, if any of our HTML elements have an event listener attached to it in JavaScript, then it'll show an event tag to the right of it as well. And the nice thing about these tags is that specifically the grid one, if you click it, it'll turn on and off the grid, and that's really helpful for quickly visualizing exactly where the grid lines are and where the tracks are and where the gaps are and everything. So really helpful for that. Also, the event tag has similar behavior, so if we click on the event, it'll pull up inline here what type of an event it is and where it's coming from, on what script and what line, and if it bubbles and all that good stuff. And we can even click this caret symbol here and it'll pull up the actual script that's being triggered or fired on that specific element. This is really helpful for figuring out what exactly is going on for the event that might be firing off, and you don't have to go searching through 50 different JavaScript files in order to find that event. So it really simplifies the process of debugging and troubleshooting. It gives you a really good starting point for making any changes. Another cool thing is, if you notice here, the search HTML, you can type in any type of element on here, any type of tag or class or ID, and it'll pull it up. So for instance, if I type in the class of key, and you can see that it auto completes, which is really helpful. You click that and hit enter, and it'll bring up the first occurrence of the class key. That's awesome. Another awesome thing that it has is this sweet little color picker, and you can go through the page and it'll give you in hex format any of the colors that you're hovering over, what the color code for that is. And that's super helpful if you want to be able to be like, what's this yellow right here? I really like that. So we pull up the color inspector, click it, and you can see it's copied to the clipboard, and boom, you can use it. Let's turn these borders to that color, and we can just click on it and delete RGB, copy that in there, hit enter, and you can see all the borders around the keys have changed to that yellow color. Very useful. And on the right here you can see the CSS panel that loads up too, and you have the rules, the layout, which shows the grids and the box model, all the computed styles, any animations or fonts that we talked about in the previous videos. And you can also click this tab right here to bring up the 3-pane inspector, which is really helpful if you have a bunch of stuff that you're trying to keep track of as far as the markup in relevance to the CSS and where it is on the page. Very helpful stuff. Alright, that's gonna do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. You have just watched a video on the Mozilla DevTool tips. This is RabbitWerks JavaScript, and you are awesome.